Okay, so this is for everyone that watches tarot videos, including myself, because I do watch tarot videos. I haven't really been doing tarot myself recently, but I do like sometimes, whatever. With that being said, though, you have to remember that this person is reading their tarot from their own perspective of this reality, not from yours. So take what they're saying with a grain of salt. Just like everything else anyone else says, you take what resonates with you, but don't apply their entire situation to you. Because there are a lot of these tarot people that will say, oh, well, a big change is going to happen. Something huge is going to happen. Or they'll say something horrible, people are out to get you. And sometimes I wonder, is that because it's salacious? Or is that what they're really reading? And you can only read from where you are, not good or bad. It's just, you can only be where you are. You can't be somewhere you're not. So you have to remember that you might not be experiencing or have the same thought process as this person. And you also don't know if that person is just doing what they see the algorithm likes. They might get more views on videos about people are out to get you. And so then they make most of their content revolving around that. You don't know. So take it with a grain of salt and understand that this person is running a business with their channel, and they might be going to where the money is. And the money might be causing people to be up or causing people to be down, because then you keep coming back. Sometimes what happens with tarot readers is that people get like obsessed with that person, and they think that, that person's going to come and save them, or like everything that person says is right. And it's just like, and then they can start to like worship that person, or like not make a move because that person said, is if on Tuesday the cat's gonna walk past you, and then the worst thing's gonna happen, and then on Tuesday the cat does walk past you, and now you just know that the worst thing's gonna happen. So then it does happen. But how do you know that that's not what's happening just because someone told you that and now that's what you think? Just like in the Matrix, when the Oracle said, watch out, it's okay with the vase, and then Neo was like, what? And then he like bounced back, and then he hit the vase, and then he said, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. And then she said, don't worry about it, it's okay. But how do you know that? But the craziest thing is would you have hit the vase if I would have said that? So how much of what we're experiencing is what it, is it because you heard it in the tarot that it happened? Because now that's what you've been programmed with? Or was it already going to happen anyway? We have to have enough awareness to ask that question so that you can recognize, okay. Because we also have to know that I feel like personally, the subconscious mind cannot be as weak-minded as beings would have you think. They'll say, oh, well, the subconscious mind doesn't know good or bad. It just does everything you say. How can that be true? That doesn't even make sense to me. How can whatever we're proclaiming created this entire system of being not know the difference between something that's going to be beneficial and something that's going to be harmful? That doesn't even make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. That entity who created this would have to know how something is going to impact you. It would have to know. Now, would that system create a system where you get to decide that in some ways? Absolutely. Are there probably ways you can hack around it and cause people to do different things? Absolutely. And at the same time, you let people make their own decisions. but you can influence those decisions, and that's where the mind control comes into play. Because if you're always hearing something over and over and over and over and over again, it's going to be programmed into your reality. So if you're always listening to someone saying something amazing is going to happen to you, is not saying something amazing is happening right now today. It's something amazing is going to happen. So that means it's not happening right now today. So that means it won't ever occur because it's not happening now. And then that's what gets programmed. And so then you end up in this thing where you're delaying your own progress because you just keep hearing that it's gonna come. It's gonna be here. And that's what you're telling the Amazon. It's just don't come yet because you're gonna come. So don't come just yet because I know you're on the way. And if you're always on the way, you're not necessarily there. You get to your destination when you get there. So it's one thing if it's saying, oh, your destination has arrived. You're right there. It's a whole other thing to, so sometimes I wonder, like, is that just programming what that being wants to see in this realm? Like, who knows? And things like you don't know. And a lot of them will say, like, hey, take what resonates, blah, blah, blah. So that's fine. But you also have to remember, like, you are experiencing all of it. And if you get emotionally involved in it, okay, that's how you bought it. Because you got emotionally into it, so you purchased it. So if you're watching, like, I knew people was looking for me. I knew they was watching me. I knew they was coming after me. Then you're going to have more situations to be paranoid about. And it's not good or bad, but it is. So you have to think about that and decide how you're going to be involved with stuff so you can just observe it. You don't have to engage. You don't have to buy it. You don't have to wear it. You can just see what it is and keep it at arm's distance from you energetically by not buying the whole thing. And if you watch tarot, fine, do that. But also keep in mind that it is from another being who's basically similar to you, and they are reading cards from their own intent and from their own thoughts. And once again, the point of YouTube is for views. And so if they make more content revolving around what gets views, who's to say it's good or bad? It's your responsibility to yourself to have ownership and accountability for what you interact with and what you choose to receive. Now, just because you don't know it's your right to do that doesn't mean that it's not. Just because you don't know it's your responsibility to yourself to do that doesn't mean it's not true. You might not know that you're supposed to take the trash out, and you just let it pile up. You might not know, but it doesn't mean that the trash truck doesn't come just because you don't use it. You might put your trash out on Wednesday and then it comes on Friday, and then you live in a neighborhood that fines you, and then you get fined. You're like, well, I'm just putting the trash out. You might not know that that you get fined for that, but you still get fined. You might not know that trash day is on Thursday, but that doesn't mean it's not still on Thursday. Just because you don't know it doesn't mean it's not happening. You might not know that the block behind you is where the line changes and their trash day is a different day. And so you'd be like, why did I got fined and they didn't? But you might not know, but it doesn't mean that it's not happening. So when you think about it that way, just because you don't believe or know that you are being programmed by, your reality is being programmed by whatever you continue to doesn't mean that it's not. And so you can change what your mind is programmed with by creating your own subconscious tones, by changing what you watch, by changing what you listen to, by listening. I have subconscious reprogramming videos on here. You can watch those. I listen to them all the time. I put them on here so I could hear them. Sure, because I like putting sounds together. I love that stuff. And also, I'm seeing, oh wow, because I tested it out, and I spoke more about this when I talked about why I stopped watching reality shows. But I noticed that when I stopped watching, then I watched again, I was so emotional that day. I even cried. I was so emotional. And I'm like, oh shoot, this is, and then we see it, and they clone Tyrone and all these different things, but like, it's nothing wrong with mind control. It's a tool. But you should know how to mind control yourself. And just because you don't know you're being mind controlled doesn't mean you're not. But you can mind control yourself. You can mind control yourself. You can play your own music. You can play your own stuff. You can decide what you watch. And then you will feel better internally. And it seems the better you feel internally, the better your external situation is. Food for thought. Let me know what you thought about this. Like this video, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'm not saying not to watch tarot. I'm just saying you make the decision if you're okay with whatever they're putting down, if you really want to pick that up. See you later, alligators.